what were some of the things that you saw Blake Wesley progress in this season? Because this article is about to talk about his offseason. And what are some of the things that you feel like after watching him this year should be his focuses for the season?
I think he improved in a lot of
Or
ways.
offseason, excuse
Yeah,
me.
no, you're good. He improved in a lot of ways. Once he was given the opportunity to actually play, the biggest two improvements were one, defense. I think everybody was fully aware of that because that's what jumps off the screen. He was picking guys up 94 feet, taking the responsibility to guard the primary ball handler pretty much 90 to 95% of the time, hounding guys, playing the passing lanes, picking dudes off. It reminded me a lot of a young DeJounte Murray. I know DeJounte Murray kind of gave us all a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth because of what he said about the Spurs in the past, but we can't deny how good he was at defense, especially when he was young and growing with the Spurs. So that's what it reminded me of. And then secondly, and this might even be more important than defense, just decision making. The reason we couldn't play him his rookie year is because he was a turnover machine. He was playing way
Mm-hmm.
too fast, out of control. His handle was not clean. He was getting picked easily in the half court. This year, he fixed that completely. I think he averaged less than a turnover a game this year, which is very impressive because I think he averaged like 3 or 4 last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if those numbers are completely accurate. So in the comments, if you want to fact check me, please. But ultimately, making the right pass, getting out of his own way, playing under control, and not looking to do too much. I think those are the two biggest focuses for him this season and why he was able to get significant minutes.
Absolutely, Ethan. I was just about to see if we could change our background to the SSPN logo, and
Oh,
I
that'd be
I
kind of
think
cool.
we can. Are we gonna work? You gonna work for me? Okay. Well,
It's white.
you can't even see it. Okay. Well,
We'll make a logo specifically for this.
I think I might have ruined it now. Is this gonna fix it?
There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
We're back.
Okay. We fixed it. I thought I ruined it, guys. Might be. Okay. You know what? Actually, check this out. I know. I swear we're about to get to this Blake Wesley article.
Oh, silver and black. Silver and
There's
black.
some Spurs colors for y'all.
I like that.
Okay. I like that
Like
too.
the opening sequence to what's that movie with all the black stuff?
I'm thinking Skyfall, James Bond.
That's a good one, but no, I'm talking about it's a David Fincher movie. I think it's Seven.
Okay.
Whatever. We'll move past it. I think it's Seven.
Ethan, right next to us. Blake Wesley is eager to build upon his approved sophomore season, and he says year 3 is going to be big. So let's see what old Blake Wesley had to say. And this is what I mean, Ethan. Like, as much as like we love talking about these draft prospects, right? And maybe we could argue that some of these guys could maybe even have a potential higher ceiling than Blake Wesley. Blake Wesley's actually on the team.
Right.
And as much as like we love all of this Wemby stuff and we want the Spurs to get better, it's nice to just talk about something that is like real and concrete. So let's
Mm,
dive into it.
let's do it.
With the San Antonio Spurs 2023-24 season over, the players will now evaluate their areas for improvement ahead of next season. And guard Blake Wesley aims to accomplish 3 goals before next season, starting with an improved 3-point shot. And we already saw a little bit of an improvement there. Nothing crazy, but still, we did see a little bit of it this season. Same mentality, but really, we're going to want the 3 ball to be consistent. Hey, that's what we've been saying as Spurs
Mhm.
fans, right? They know. Um, Wesley's 3-point shooting does need improvement. Okay, so maybe it's not as good as I thought. Uh, he went 12 from 55 from the 3-point line last season for 21% shooting. That needs to improve as he heads into his 3rd season, but he did show some improvement when the season closed. So this is probably where I'm getting, this thought that he got a little bit better. Wesley shot 31% from the 3-point line in March and April, which is the most recent basketball we've seen from the Spurs. Granted, he just attempted 13 3-point shots in March and April, but any confidence he can carry into the offseason to improve his perimeter shot will be beneficial. So that is key. While his percentage improved, it was also while he was taking less shots, as opposed to like when we're talking about someone like a Devin Carter who improved his percentage immensely while taking more shots. Jeremy Sohan did that, not to the same extent that Devin Carter did in college, but he jumped up 6 points in his percentage from last season from 24% to almost 31%. And then on top of that, Jeremy Sohan did that while taking more threes. So, if you're taking more and improving your percentage, that really is what stands out to me. But nonetheless, that, like Jeff says, any confidence he can carry into the offseason is beneficial. Wesley is looking to improve more than just the offensive end of the floor. He is also set on being a better defender and better decision maker. And those were some things that you already harped on, but still, I agree that those are some things, especially decision making, that he can continue to get better at, as much as we did see some improvement there. But he wants to work on his defense, decision making, stuff like that, and get in shape. So just better cardio. We'll take a little pause here, Ethan, since I've been talking. What are your takeaways right here from Blake Wesley?
3-point shooting. I'm glad that it's an emphasis. I understand what you said. It did get better. It looked better. He kind of changed his approach. He was stepping into shots, getting his feet under him, setting his base before releasing it, and that's when we saw the improvement. But obviously, continue to work on that, and his offensive game will open up from there.
For sure. Decision making has been his focus since entering the league. That makes sense with this Notre Dame tape. He emphasized learning to make the right reads while in the G League with the Austin Spurs, which showed throughout last season, especially in Austin. He averaged 3.0 plus persists per game. This is, I think, on the actual Spurs in the season's final 3 months, including 5 assists in the regular season finale versus Detroit. He also tied his career high average in assists with 2.7 per game, which was second on the team in assist percentage at 31.4%. Now, I will say this is Blake Wesley's second season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he just averaged the same. I like what Jeff's doing here. He's trying to give him props and hype him up. But to be fair, if he tied his career high, that just means he averaged the same as last year.
Right.
But the assist percentage, like we used that number with Rob Dillingham, that does stand out with him being second on the team. Wesley also made tremendous strides in his defense, which caught the attention of his teammates and coach Greg Popovich. Just being a pest on the defensive end. Man, we did see that, Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been like that, and that's the energy we need from him, said Devin Vassell. He was confident offensively. He always busts his butt on defense, Greg Popovich said. Wesley recorded 29 steals last season and uses his quickness on defense to make life difficult for opposing players. Also the ball pressure, too. I saw a lot of that last season, as well as the lateral movement. He also averaged 2.2 deflections per game per 36 minutes and contested 2.3 three-point shots. I definitely see the deflections. That's something that, like the tape, when I think of Blake Wesley from last season, that's something that stands out. He's been making strides on the offensive end too, but defensively, he's always been kind of that anchor, Vassell said. And that ties into your DeJounte comparison, Ethan.
Mm.
And as we wrap up this article here, the Spurs used Wesley more as last season progressed, and his time in the G League ended with 61 games played in San Antonio. His usage rate spiked in April from 17.6 to 17.6 from 13.5 in March. The team trusted him to back up Trey Jones and be that spark plug during games on both ends of the floor, closing the season on a good note. He posted 17 points at home against Detroit, along with 3 steals. He only turned the ball over once against Denver on March 12th. That was a win, I'm pretty sure. And once against, actually, now that I think about it, I think our win might have been a little bit later in the season, but maybe that was a win. I can't remember. And once again against the Pistons. He also shot 78% versus Detroit in a win. That play left him excited and confident for year 3. Year 3 is going to be big, he said. I'm excited and ready to get to work after a break.
Great written article.
We finally got to it, Ethan.
We did. It's been a long time coming. Like everyone knows that Blake Wesley's my surrogate son. I love him. I've been a huge fan of his since we drafted him, since we saw him break out in the summer league, and obviously his rookie year was bad. But he's made strides. He stayed confident. I love his personality. I love the way he answers post-game press conferences and at the practice facility as well. He's got a lot of confidence. He's got unnatural speed and athleticism. So if he can hone it all together and continue to work on his decision-making, get better as a three-point shooter, and stay confident, I have no doubt that he can absolutely be a key part of our roster moving forward, especially as like a backup combo guard, really. He can play 1 or 2. And if Malachi Branham continues to struggle into next season, then there's even more minutes and opportunity for him to be a scorer off the bench.